Welcome back to Guernsey Shipwrecks. Another day, another dive. The wind's broken a little bit now. We'll day of a little bit of wind, but don't worry. The weekend's going back up to 32, 33. So this is going to be a bit of a respite for me this day. Can't wait. Let's go, let's see what we're going to do today. And we're off. What we're going to do today, I don't know. Ginny! Coming all the way down here now, Gabrielle. We've just hit the reef now. We've just hit the reef now. The reef's just started here, look.
Yeah, that's right. Just a little bit of
so
a double. Perfect.
You're bouncing around at 47 meters. So that's my destination. Jeff's is right out here. So
okay.
Yeah, we're good. We've extended these ropes to get more depth. Oh, it's a little bit windier today. Jeff's just going down here now. Just see his line coming round, his buffs are just here. That's 50 meters pretty much, I think. Try and get out the wind a little. So yeah, 47 meters. So he's on a sandy patch here. He's gone down right outside in the deep here. Fair play to him. I don't know if I want to be doing 47 meters on the scallops. Probably not for me. I mean, I don't mind going deep, but it's pretty deep for scalloping. Right, you don't get that long at 50 meters scalloping, and I can see his first buff is going down, so that means Jeff is on his way back up. Like I say, he had to extend his rope another 10 meters out here because it's a bit deeper. So we're going to go over and see if he's picking up. I'm ready, I'm prepped on the deck, ready to go. Only 50 meters inside Jeff onto the reef, and I'll come down the reef. Don't know how deep I'm going to see. Might see 45. I might to get the maximum time for filming, I might not go deeper than 35. 35 will give me probably 8 or 9 minutes on the bottom at that depth. Obviously I'll gain time as I come shallower because I'm exposed to less pressures of water. So this is Jeff's young bird. What I do, you'll see it, he come up, he start getting his scallops here, and then that thing will start squawking because he knows that Jeff's got scallops. But the annoying thing is he'll stay here all day because Jeff shocks them back in the harbour because we have to by law. You've got to land them before you can shock them, because if the sea fisheries come out and want to measure the size, which they do from time to time, they obviously can't measure the flesh. They're going to measure the shells, because the shells are what determines the legal limit of 100 millimeters or 10 centimeters. So you might have a long wait. He might be lucky. He might get you a frill out of one of them. I don't think there is any others. Is there any others down here? Nah, there's no frills from yesterday. Oh, there might be some frills from yesterday. Nah. Sorry, matey, none. Same again. A dozen, I reckon. That is nice stuff as well, look at it.
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh, that's heavy. A few kilos there, probably 30 kilos maybe.
that, I suppose.
What depth did you see?
15.1, I think. 50 metres in here.
50 metre diving just on a single bottle. You still got air left as well. 50 bar left. So it's my turn now. Get the gear on. I'm going to go in over that way to a large rock that's a bit mischievous to shipping. There's a few boats that hit it called Gabrielle, and it just comes out on the lowest of tide, just out a tiny bit, just shows itself, but majority of the time it's just under the surface. Let's go and film it, see what life's on it, see if we can get any more crays, film some crays. So as you can see, just put me right on the top of the head here, and there's a baby pollock swimming around, and there's plenty of other fish as well. As nearly every other reef, the shallow reef that comes up to the surface, you get the small school bass just shoaling around here. There's probably 4 or 5. I want to get down to the deep, so I'll do a little bit of filming of these, but I'm not going to stay too long. We'll just head down into the deep. It is a shame that we've got this stringiness, and this almost seems to be the second belt of stringiness. It's basically plankton that's gathering size and volume due to the sun. Hopefully this drops out the water again soon, but I'm not going to hold my breath because it seems to be holding around for a lot longer than it normally does, due to our southern nice sunny days, I suppose. This reef pretty much comes down into stages. There's like little sort of shelves, as it were, with sand on. So I know I'm coming down to about the 20 metre mark, and all this softer seaweed will disappear. There's a decent sized scallop here. So all this seaweed will start to disappear as you lose light. The light's unable to penetrate deep enough to sustain life. So all this seaweed will you almost see a perfect line of it around about the 20 metre mark. Someone's crab pot. Looks like it's been down a while. And here's another coma fish. These are becoming very common now. They're actually part of a group of fish. So I believe this crab pot's actually lost, but no one's asked me to get it back yet, which is surprising, so we'll leave it there. As with all of these reef dives, you see there's almost the same sort of life. It's very similar on each reef, albeit some have got more of one particular thing, but they're all covered in female cuckoo wrasse. You'd get a couple of dominant males that follow you around, but the majority of these brown ones with the white and black dots on their tail, they're all female cuckoo wrasse. This is a ballan wrasse, same family but just slightly larger. So it almost looks like we're down to the bottom of the seabed round here where the sand starts. You almost sort of led into thinking that this is the bottom of the reef, but it still drops off again deeper. It goes quite a lot deeper, to be honest. I don't want to go too much deeper, to be honest, because there's enough life around here for us to have a good look at. This is the base of a early glass bottle, or black glass bottle. late 1700s, probably early 1800s. I can imagine someone sitting on a boat and having a drink out of this, and it either breaking because it's rolled off or something onto the deck, or they've just thrown it over the side into the sea. Just under here you can see a brown edible crab, or locally we call these shankers. They're nice hardy crabs. You would not want to get your fingers near it. Just notice this big chunk of lead. It looks homemade. First of all I thought it was a sounding lead, so they use these a bit bigger than this, a bit longer than this, a bit of lead they drop down to the seabed just to see how deep the water is. We'll take that back to the surface and have a little look at it. So there's a few big male spider crabs left. Look how well they're adapted to working these reefs and eating stuff and scavenging off these reefs. Big long legs, their bodies above the seaweed, and they use their long legs to straddle and wrap around rocks. Really good at climbing, but they can just climb over all this coral with no issues. So we're at 22 meters now, and you can just see the seaweed is now stopping growing. I'm just at that depth now. I like looking under all of these boulders, and you can see here, look at these leopard spotted gobies, and their backs to each other. Probably looking for a female to breed with, but you know, God in their territory. These little wrasse are called gold cinnies, and it doesn't take much to get their attention. Just turn your torch on, that's it, they'll be able to see you. Unfortunately, this one's got a parasite on his head. Looks like a little hat. Poor thing. If I could grab it and take it off, I would. I don't know why, but sometimes I look at rocks and think, yeah, I'm going to have a look under this one. You just get a feeling sometimes there's going to be something cool underneath it. And I certainly wasn't let down this time. Almost knew there was something under there, so I put my torch on and poked my head in and just see what's in there. It's an absolutely monstrous conger. More than likely a female that's come into the shallows. The males live 100 metre plus right out in the channel. Very shy, just backed away. So I want to try and see if it's backed out the back of the rock. So we're just going to have a little look the other side, see what we can see. Some pelt here as well, these little striped fish. Some people call them bib. And there's also a tampot blenny as well here. So just looking in, I can just see the tail beyond the tampot blenny, but you can't really see much. So, oh well, I don't think we're going to get it out. Here's another coma fish. They really are becoming popular, these coma fish. I think it's time I left this boulder field area and try and get on some of the slope or some of the cliff face. See if we can see any crays or anything like that. Loads of tiny little fish around here, not quite sure what they are. There must be some sort of breeding area around here on the sand for them. Seems to be a fair few. There's also a fair few of these yellow bits of soft sponge. So some of them are yellow finger sponges and the other ones are yellow staghorn sponges. And it's probably one of the most common sponges you see. Some of these ones that look like balls are actually called hedgehog sponges. These brown ones here are called chocolate fingered sponges. I'll see our first crayfish, and this one's a beauty. He's got a lovely little home here. You see coralline algae, pink sea fans. He's a really nice one, this one. Here you go, there's even a sea anemone there. Here you can see sort of how the reef's made up. So now there's a couple of drop-offs now, big shelved angled areas, and just drops off down into the deep. So I'm going to sort of stay against this face and see what else we can find. There's loads of these crevices that are travelling up at 45 degrees, always full of life. There's all sorts inside, and I'm at 25 metres, so it's kind of ideal depth. A male cuckoo wrasse come to say hello. Once they come and say hello, they tend to stick with you for quite a long time. It's not until you start heading up that they turn around and then swim back down again. See what I mean? Look inside this little crevice. You just see the snout of a baby conger there. Just the small ones, we call them whips. That's just a baby conger. He's backed himself in the hole. He's a little bit shy, so we'll leave him alone. These little worms are double spiral worms. Just collecting anything that just passed in the tide. Here's our old friend, the cotton spinner sea cucumber. So this clear thing on the left of the screen here is actually a sea squirt. I think they're called sionas or something like that. And here's another crayfish. This one's very small, this one. good to see them varying sizes. It means there must be breeding. There must be a breeding stock somewhere, which is always nice to see, especially when here's another one. Especially when a few years ago these weren't to be seen anywhere, and they thought they had been out overfished so much that we'd never see them again. So really good sign to see this, and it is illegal for divers to take these. Please just give them a chance to restock themselves before anyone catches them in nets or pots. So we're going to head up now up the side of this reef. Loads of little bits of overhang, so I always look under these. So sometimes you get a surprise like this. This is a good surprise. This is a very good surprise. So this is a male and female black-faced Blenny. So this yellow one's the male. He's got iridescent on his little dorsal finny bit and the little fins underneath his head. And the female looks a bit bland, but maybe slightly larger. Try and get decent light on him, because these yellow collars on him, it only happens during mating season. They turn yellow, and also when they've been fighting, their face turns grey. Must be to do with intimidation of other fish. But this is really good to see. It's a male and a female. You don't see this very often, so quite blessed to see this, to be honest. Pretty cool, but we'll leave him be. Don't know if he's fertilising eggs or something there, but they need their privacy. We'll let them carry on. Now up on the inside of the reef now, there's quite a big drop off onto nice white, crystal white sand. It's good when you're diving around about this white sand, because it sheds quite a bit of light back up, and the viz seems to get a little bit better. But it's almost at the end of the dive now, because I've come back up the back side of the reef now, and just having a little check, because these overhangs, there's all sorts there. There's jewel anemones, there's all different colours of corals, depending on where they are on the reef, if they're in the tide, if they're out the tide, if they're sheltered, if sun gets to them, etc, etc. They're all different colours. Here's another baby crayfish. See on these this overhang here, these things are called sunset cop corals, and they're actually quite rare. They're only found in a few places. There's a couple of nice reefs in Sark with them on. Really good to see. You can see now the tide is just starting to go south. You can see the particles in the water heading south pretty quickly, so we're going to call this the end of the dive. We'll slowly come up over the top of this reef and see if we can catch out a few bass. Hopefully we can, but it's always a bit of a gamble. Sometimes you see different types of fish. Whatever we see, we're following anyway. So I'm about 8 or 9 metres. That's probably down at 20 metres. The visibility when you've got white sand is really, really good. As you can see, there's a crab pot also down here that's stuck. This is the same one that's stuck over the top of the reef. On the surface there's no pot bobbers around, so I know it's been lost. It's 1 minute and we're going back up. They're amazing, these wrasse. They're Ballan wrasse, but this, I don't even know what colour you call them. I call them strawberry colour. It's like a nice dark, don't know, like a calypso red colour with white dots on it. Don't know why it reminds me of a strawberry, but I'll just call them the strawberry colour ones. Let's follow this. Now time to go up. Oh, I enjoyed that. So let's go. Tide's starting to pull now, so let's definitely go. So we're heading back up now. Going back north. Jeff's just getting his gear ready. That's the only scallop I have, but look at the size of it. That's an absolute beast. Absolute beast. Probably 5 years old, I reckon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe just going into its 6th year. And also, what's this? I'm not quite sure what that is. It's like a sounding lead off of a boat. Sorry, I'm trying to do the steering as well. So what is that? Is that a... There's no hole. Normally they put a hole in the bottom of these and they dip them onto the seabed, pull them up and see what it's like. So I know in the English Channel, if you're further north it's gravelly, if you're further south it's sandy. But was it for that, or was it for a fishing net, or... Looks old. I mean, it's been wrapped in some other sort of lead, which I'm not quite sure what it is, but anyway, if you know what it is, put it in the comments. Be interesting. This is the life. Diving. And I'm so lucky that we got friends like Richard Keane that lets us out on his boats. We get as much scallops as we can for fuel, but still it's his boat, and he's a proper legend, to be honest. So the reason I've been out nearly every day, I think it's my 4th day out now. You know, there's a couple more to come, another 2. Just don't tell my missus, she doesn't watch these videos anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so Jeff's back in for his 2nd now. He's just over here. The tide is just starting to push us south now, and I've got the boat just trotting into the tide. It's in gear and it's holding itself in the tide. Jeff's crazy when he goes scalloping. He actually swims into the tide as he does it. Same as me. I don't know, other divers tend to do the easy way and just drift with the tide and just pick them up as if they see them. But I wonder how many he gets next. He's had a few. He had more than a 12 dozen on the last bag. I didn't ask him his numbers or ask him when he comes back up. The problem is, down there they were all big and fat and lovely big fat scallops in the deep there, because we don't tend to go in the deep too much. Up here they're a bit thinner, a bit newer, a bit younger. So we'll wait until he comes back up. My gear's ready. I've gone through that 15. I've had about 80 bar left, but I'm not going to dive with that. Back on the 12. I'm going to come down through here and try and earn Richard some money for some fuel. Everything costs money and you got to pay your own way, so not sure what's going to go on with tomorrow's dive. Possibly the long Pierre, which I've been waiting to do for a while. I would like my mate Phil to be with me on long Pierre, because we've been saying to each other we'd like to get back in and do it again. We missed it a couple of weeks ago because the tide was just too strong. So just waiting for him now. Just waiting for Jeff. He's going to come in now. He's going to go right into the rocks, into the shallow, and he'll probably end up dropping through here. And he might have a flatfish. When I go through there, I normally get a little flatty. So there's a sandy patch. There's a reef here and a sandy patch. I've had a few dovers out of that. In fact, I had a turbot once out of there. A nice one. So I have to wait until he comes up. Jeff's back on board. Another huge bag. Look at that, an unlucky dover sole there, look. Jeff's lunch there. And look at that. Oh. An half a reef, yeah. So that's Jeff done for the day. It's just me to go and fill my bag up with some scallops. and pay for the fuel, hopefully. Let's get ready to dive. Gotta earn your keep back in the deep. There's my scallops. Better quick get these graded before we get in the harbour, because I reckon there could be some smalls. There's a few dozen there. Not as big as chest bag, but not bad.